Okay, so meeting for 3:10. In attendance, myself, Chairman Alex Farah. Kyle Flynn has his excused absence. Is Nathan here? Nathan.
Yes, I am present.
Greg Nadell does not look to be in attendance. Soren Zazer, are you here? Zizer, are you here? Okay, developers. OFAC, I'm pretty sure is asleep. Alex Gardner, I don't remember seeing. Is Noah here? Okay, then contributors. I know we have a few of them. And then public, we'll go over at the public comment. Approval of the agenda. Is there anything to be added or deleted from the agenda? Or are we good with the agenda as it is? I'll second.
Before we do this, Alex, can you please put on headphones?
I don't have any.
How do you not have headphones?
Because the ones that I had broke. Or
put in the earbuds. I have like 60 pairs of headphones.
Fine.
No, probably more like 15.
With earbuds.
15 pair of headphones. I broke my headphones this weekend, though, or I broke the cord for them. Well, they are wireless headphones, but I like to plug them in, and I broke them while I was doing Webcast Operator because I left my headphones out connected to the headphone extension, and that fell on the floor, and someone stepped on it and split it. I just plugged in my headphones at one point, Soren, and I was like, why can't I hear anything? I see levels. And then I was like, oh, yeah, there we go. That's the issue.
Nice.
Not nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Okay, how's this?
Very nice.
Much better.
Okay. So then, continuing on, we're okay with the schedule. Soren motioned, I second.
Yep.
But what's the schedule?
The
agenda.
So, Nathan, are you in favor of the agenda?
Can I read it? Give me a second. Oh, there's a lot.
Exactly.
Why do you think we sent this out 20 minutes ago?
Commence step 3.
I think I read it like a month ago when we sent it out originally, and then kept moving the meeting.
So we already did number 1 and 2, right?
Yeah, we're on 2 right now.
Yeah.
But your board members didn't plan ahead.
You do know, Nathan, this part is just if you want to add anything to the agenda, really.
Yeah,
you can always vote no on something.
If I add stuff. Yeah, this looks good.
Okay.
Approved.
Soren, your vote?
Approve.
I approve. So, agenda is fine.
I approve.
Approval of the consent agenda. So do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion.
Yeah, approve.
Motion.
Oh,
okay.
No, I don't even know how this works.
So the board, basically motion and approval is one of the board members, so one of the directors says motion, and then a person seconds, and then we take a vote. If we don't get it, then the motion would fail.
I vote no.
You're not a board member, so you can't vote no or yes.
Don't think about it.
So, okay. So then, I'm losing my train of thought. Soren, your vote?
I second.
Nathan, your vote?
Yeah.
And I vote yay. So, okay. Officer reports. My report is basically, for those of you who don't know, we got the Google Data Solutions for Change grant awarded, which was $6,000 in Google Cloud credits, which equals $1,000 for 6 months. So after 6 months, it'll expire. I think it's September 6th that we have to use it by, or something like that.
We have to use it?
That sounds right. It'll expire after September 6th if we don't use it by that time.
Okay.
You don't have
However-
to use $6,000, Soren.
You don't have to use the complete $6,000,
And
right?
please don't.
Because there's no
Well,
guarantee that we would be able to renew it, because we do have to renew it every year or every 6 months. Sorry. So, but yeah, that's the big thing, at least for my reports. Kyle's not here. Do you have anything to report, Nathan? Nathan, do you have anything to report?
Yes, as secretary.
As secretary, yes.
Oh, as secretary? No. Don't we need a vice chair? Do we not need a vice chairman?
We technically do, but Kyle is technically in that role at least until June-ish.
I have nothing to report. The notes look good. I'm not taking notes this time because we're recording it. I'm sorry, but there's no need for us to take notes unless it's
No, I know.
legally required that we do.
Well, we have to do
We're
a
recording.
yeah. We have to do
Nice.
we have to do minutes after, but you don't have to individually take notes. It's just we can do it off the recording.
We
So
have
you
to
don't-
do minutes?
We do have to do minutes, but we don't have to do the minutes as the meeting's going along. Like we can record the meeting and then take the minutes after. There's nothing wrong with that.
Why can't we just send out the recording to anyone that wants to know the minutes?
Because that's part of the requirements of being a 501c3.
Oh, that's brutal.
So I can't log into Comerica Bank because their website's being stupid, but the last time I checked, our balance was $314 and some change.
And for some
So-
note, I have never been able to log into our bank account. Even though you sent me a login, just like the Adobe login, I still can't access that.
Okay,
Sounds
I'll
like
take
he
a look at
doesn't
that.
want you in.
Sounds like it's a Alex problem.
I'll take a look at that after the meeting. Okay, so then next is approval for matters for board action. Approval to appoint Tammy Damrath and Keith Moore to the board pending their acceptance. Do I have a motion?
Can we separate that approval?
Yes.
Okay.
So then it would be, you would just do a motion for one of them.
Yeah, motion to split the cause. That's what it or split. Isn't that what it is? trying to think the student government.
Well, no, what I'm saying is you just go motion to approve Tammy to the board of directors, or motion to approve.
Motion
Keith
to
Moore
approve
the board.
Tammy Damrath to a board of directors upon agreement or whatever the heck that
Upon
says.
approval.
Upon approval, yes.
Or upon their acceptance.
Yeah, upon their acceptance, yeah.
I'll second that.
Who is this person?
So Tammy Damrath is the affiliate partner for First in Michigan, FTC.
Okay.
So then we have the second. So then for a vote, Nathan, your vote.
I don't know.
So abstain.
Abstain.
So then, Soren, your vote,
Yay.
and I vote yay. So the matter then is approved. So now for someone to motion Keith Moore, unless
Motion to vote Keith Moore to the board pending his acceptance.
Okay. So then I'll second that. Soren, your vote,
Yay.
Nathan, your vote,
Yay.
and I vote yay.
Wait,
Approval to
I vote yay too.
Okay, cool. And Keith is cheer, right?
No, Keith is not cheer. Keith Moore is basically the founder of the site with me.
Oh, I thought he was on the board.
We never officially voted him in. Because last time I
Who the
talked
hell
to him,
did
he
I just
didn't.
say yes to.
You voted into Keith Moore,
So who is Keith?
He was the founder with me on this website. So back in 2016, we were starting this website together, and the reason why he wasn't around after Kyle took over was because he had some family stuff going on.
Is he interested in getting back involved?
He said it probably won't be until the summer, but yes, he is interested in coming back, which is why I wanted this here. So as soon as he was able to come back, there was nothing to stop him.
Okay.
Is Greg going to be remaining on the board?
What?
Is Greg going to be remaining on the board?
Greg will be remaining on the board, at least for the foreseeable future that I know of. But we're also going to talk about a few thing like that at
Dom, you
Later
also,
down.
your mic is really muffled.
I'll ask you later, Alex.
Okay, no problem. But we have because we're looking at new funding structure, which we're going to talk about when we get down to that. So, okay.
Ads.
So then the next one is,
I have our bank account balance if you're interested.
oh, yes.
$314.78.
See, I was right.
That's pretty rough.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
we're about
then,
to blow through that bank account when we get down to where is this? When we get down to 6D.
so, okay. So approval to add Dominic H. as a developer.
I approve.
Motion to vote.
Motion to approve Dom as a developer.
And then Nathan, I'm assuming you're second. Okay, I vote yay.
I vote
Nathan,
yay.
what's your vote? Sword, your vote?
Abstain.
It still passes. And my question to you is, why would you abstain on something that you motioned?
No. Okay, I vote yay.
Okay, so moving down to C, approval on $50 a year for QuickBooks to be able to help with tracking our invoices and make our, or not invoices, to track our donations and expenditures to fill out our 990 form, which is legally required by law.
As much as I'd want to have Alex have to fill that out manually, I motion to approve for $50 a year on QuickBooks.
I'll second. Nathan, what's your vote?
No, because I want to see you fill this out manually.
Soren, what's your vote?
Yay.
Please vote no. Oh, damn.
I vote yay. Motion
I vote
passes.
yay.
Look,
I was just
yeah, this was when it comes to taxes, that's not something to screw around with. But yes,
Okay, so approval of $100 credit per director and $50 for developer and committee member. So that's basically just like the people on the social media committee to be able to or for branding supplies and clothing. So I know that we saw that we got quotes for getting shirts and stuff. So I was, at least from what I saw, it was around $100, or not $100 per person. I have to look through again, but I'm sure I emailed everyone out what the quote was for them.
yeah.
you've sent it out like 3 months ago. So I will approve directors and developers, but I do not believe that committee members deserve, or well, thinking about our current staff, it's that 2 members of our social media team deserve a $50 credit for clothing because they haven't really done much.
Yeah, I agree with him, and as well as if I don't know, I want to do half of what the current value is, say $100 and $25.
I'll pay for my own stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you don't have to use the credit. Like, it's just there as an
Okay.
available thing.
Okay.
I'd say let's just. I would approve for developers and board members, but I won't use my credit at least now.
Yeah.
We happen to get a huge
Developers
donation.
gotta
and
do the hard work.
Yeah.
if we
So
happen to
motion.
get a big donation, I'll definitely take my $100.
So then motion to do 50, so is the motion to do $50 for just developers and board members?
Yes. Motion to provide $50 of credit for developers and board members for branded supplies and clothing. So that's different than what is stated on the agenda.
Can
Yeah,
I
that's
edit
fine.
the agenda?
I wouldn't edit the agenda from when we approved it. It'll be reflected in the meeting minutes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make a comment to
Oh,
know
wait.
what we did.
Okay. And then, so Soren made that. Who seconded?
I second.
Okay. Then, I approve. Nathan, your vote?
I approve.
My vote is approve. So then that passes unanimously. So then the next one is going to be
Looks
So we're
like
done.
Greg might be joining us, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that. So then, operational matters for consideration. So the very first point was lost data hunt. So one of the things that I know we have been restricted on was finding data. So last week I was talking with Hook. I don't know his real name, but
Welcome, Greg.
Howdy.
so I was talking with him, and we were going through the old first sites to see if we can find those spreadsheets from back before we had us, because I know they used to do spreadsheets. The only year I was able to recover, I think, was 2012, 2013. So, but we're finding those going through just going through all the records back in the archive site to see if we can find anything more than just that. And then once we find a few more, I was going to approach First and Joanne and say, hey, we were able to go through the archive site, find these scores. Are we okay with putting them up, or what should our process be for doing that?
And
then just seeing what first response was with that.
to clarify on archive site, so
Next thing, unless anyone has anything to add on
Alex?
that part.
Alex, let's chat.
yes, so a clarification on the archive site.
Okay, hearing no one, we'll move on to
Alex,
the league
can you
system
hear any of us?
options.
Alex!
So one thing that I know
Alex!
Nathan, and I know a lot of regions want to see added in, is going to be a league system for us. So I know quite a few places have it. The big
Alex!
one is going to be the
Alex, can you hear us? All right, so Soren, what do you think about it?
So to clarify on the crawler, or to clarify on the date on the archive site. So first, when they upgraded to their new site, put up something archive.firstinspires or archive.usfirst.org, and somebody put a crawler on there, which is basically a bot that goes and clicks on every single link on the website and downloads the page and all the information, and basically creates a file that has every single thing that website was once linked to. So it starts at the home page, and then it'll click every single link on the home page, and then it'll click every single link on that page and the page after that until there are no more links that it can click, and then it saves that all in one place, and then at this it's been uploaded to archive.org.
So a simple web crawler.
Yep.
I'm just defining what it is for people who may not know what it is.
So Greg, if you'll be willing to chat about this publicly, I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. Like, is this something that we should do? Should we just kind of almost give up on past data? What are your opinions?
I mean, I think if it's public data and it's out there and you want to post it, it's not going to hurt anything. I also don't know how many people are FTC results from 8 years ago. So, I mean, it's not going to be like either way. So, I don't think it's going to hurt, and I don't think First's going to care one way or the other.
Makes sense. All right, Alex, do you want to continue on?
Sorry, my headphone cut out, so I couldn't hear anyone.
Hey, Alex. Also, just something so you guys can know. I'm heading to the UK on Tuesday, and I'll be there for the UK national championships, and then Romania national championship the following weekend. And Joanne will be there, so I'll probably be with her for the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
Solid. So I'll have some opportunities to chat with her and the other folks. Just casual conversation about some things.
So, Greg, here actually, if you want to check out I'll grab the link for the agenda. But I think that after this, if you're able to stay on, we're hoping to do a private meeting with you, me, Soren, and Alex to talk about kind of next steps with First and what we want to do next year.
Okay.
So maybe we can start talking to or you can start talking to Joanne about that.
No, that's fine. And thanks to Nathan for the ping, because I've kind of been head down for a while. So.
Thanks. So then the next thing is going to be league system. I know quite a few people have a system, and specifically FTC Scores have a system. I know, Nathan, you said that your region has a
website.
system. Yeah. So that was one thing that we were looking into, and I just wanted to get the developers' thoughts and inputs and the board's inputs on that.
So from a developer's perspective, we have the back end. Everything is written in place to support it. We just have to have the data and make sure that the only worry is team numbers, because some league systems I was looking at, UK, they just started from 1 and then did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because they weren't the teams that they had. I couldn't find on our website as actual team numbers. They just added them all in custom to the scoring keeping system, and that unfortunately won't work with us. So the league has to consist of majority first registered teams, and then we can work with their data. If they aren't first registered teams and they're just random teams that got entered, then we can't work with that, not in our current state, and first probably wouldn't allow that. Actually, maybe they would, but
I
the
think
one
what
thing
Alex is saying for leagues is for like league meets.
Yeah. But no,
creating like an integrated system similar to what I just linked down from Illinois. I don't like our Illinois system that much, but it's better than what we have for leagues.
But going on the international thing, that was something that I was talking about and trying to plan for back a while ago, with putting in the country code before the team number, so that way if we had an international team, we would just do it that way. So then that way we can put in these regions outside the U.S. that don't use U.S. first registration.
But
because we have I think we have UK data, and then we also have Alberta. Canada might use U.S. numbers. I'm not sure.
Canada uses U.S. numbers, and I believe Mexico does.
Mexico doesn't. Yeah, they do. And then we also have.
And then Israel uses the U.S. registration system too.
Yeah, we also have another European country. We have their national championship, but we can't really do anything. I think country codes would be cool if we could. And then, I mean, I don't know how we would totally do it, but almost have 2 team lists.
Yeah.
One that's the like U.S. team list, because that's what most people are looking at, and then another like international team list.
yeah, so we have that ability to have the region in front of the team number is still there. It just wasn't practical since we didn't have any conflicting teams. So should we need to create a team that has, for a league system or whatnot, we can easily do that. And instead of putting the country code, I think it would make more sense to put a league, since we should eventually be creating league IDs. It would make sense to put a league ID in front of that team number instead of the country code.
I do agree with that.
Because
And then I guess I'll just say this here. Jacob Burrows has mentioned possibly being able to help out creating a integrated league system if you would like the help. Soren.
yeah, that sounds like that's fine.
As someone in a league system, please adopt league systems, because I do not like FTC scores.
That's something that we're going to that we'll actually be working on over the summer, that I want to see happen. So unless we have anything else.
I'm in a league system as well, and I use the FTC site for anything related to Illinois, or the FTC Illinois site related to Illinois data, and then TOA for everything else, because I can't jump around to league meets. I'm envisioning something, Soren, to an extent like what we do for state championships with multiple divisions, plus a little something extra, like a master event and then sub events for all the league meets.
I don't quite understand the league system yet. I haven't looked at it enough to. I mean, I sort of get it, but not quite.
Basically, the league is you just take the 3 or 4 league events plus their league championship and combine it into just one super event.
Here, so click on that second link I just sent you, Soren. So if you click on any of the leagues, so if you want to do my league, you can click on Chicago North. So what there is, oh wait, shoot. This is not the way to do it. Here, so this is how we do it. It's still a little screwed up sometimes. So look at that third link I just sent you, and click on that. Are you there, Soren? So if you go to like Chicago North, for example,
A or B?
you can click. Just click on Chicago.
Okay.
So you can click on Chicago North, and then that's all of the teams in Division A and Division B. And then if you click on like North A, you can see the divisions you can see the rankings within. This is not the most intuitive site. I don't like it. But then if, for example, if you go to one of those teams and you click on like 3507, all of the rankings from our divisions will pop up similar to a TOA page.
Who made
and
this?
then I'm trying to figure out how we.
It looks quite like a website we all work on.
Why does it look so much like TOA?
Because he used material design and chose the color as orange. And
Right.
I made fun of him for doing that. And he was like, yeah, I know, but it doesn't matter.
So it's Jacob. He used to do development for us, but then dropped off because of school.
Yeah, he's really busy. A lot of that has to do with me. Or well, now it has to do with me. There's a lot that you can do that his site does. It's not laid out in the best way ever. I can build a league system map if you want, sort of how I would love Flow to go, from like a master event down to the league meets. But it also, one of the things that we're going to be going up against is, so Illinois does league meets. If you go to that third link again, as you'll see, every single league has 2 divisions.
Yeah.
And that's somewhat unique to Illinois. Not every league has 2 divisions.
Okay. So another
some
question.
Our league has 4 divisions.
All these teams that are like the Vertigo, Blue Box Bots, Newton Busters, are those all teams that are on our website on the Orange Alliance? Are
Yes,
they
all
all
of them are
first
on
registered
TOA.
teams?
They're all first registered teams because this
Okay.
is Illinois. So
Okay.
if you're in a league meet, you're a registered team.
Hang on. Okay,
If
sounds
you're
good.
if you're at a United States event, Soren, as an FTC team, you are a registered team. So
Just
you
a
are
little bit
TOA.
more background on the leagues, just so you're aware. So because of the growth with FTC, they've been looking for ways to get more and more events with basically no more time added in. So they came up with a league structure, which is a way for local people to organize into doing events and give people more matches versus the qualifier system, which is what we still use in FIM. But next year, Tammy's moving us into leagues for next season.
Oh, rip him. That's gonna be a whole lot of events. Like
We're a hybrid system, so we'll still have some qualifiers, but like Detroit, Metro, Grand Rapids Metro will have the leagues.
Greg, do you have something to say?
No, I'm good. Sorry.
Oh, you're all good.
Leagues.
Yeah, so Soren.
In general.
Yeah, Soren. So we can chat about this, and I can
Okay.
give you the rundown because, as you know, I've done most of the uploading, so I've seen all the different wacky, weird league systems. Yeah, in essence, it's a bunch of events that lead. It's a bunch of events where teams play generally 5, sometimes 6 matches. There can range from anywhere from like 8 teams, which is most of them in Illinois, up to like 50 teams, or like 30 or 40 teams I've seen. And you're just playing matches. There's no awards. There's no finals or semifinals. It's just quals matches. And then I believe Twerks, what is your first name?
Travis.
Travis.
I'm Travis.
Travis, if you want to, I know this is how it works in Illinois. I'm not sure if it works, if this is universal, but at least for Illinois, we play 3 before the league championship, and then going into the league championship, we throw away the 5 worst matches for every single team.
At least how First Software is
That's
supposed,
basically how it works here.
because First Software is written into the way that it only takes the 10 best matches from.
The first rule of the leagues are 10 best, regardless of the number that you.
Okay.
And First recommends the 3 leagues, so you can do, if you're a league, you can do what you want, but First recommends the 3 league meets and the league championship. Any more discussion on leagues, or
Moving on.
we good to move on to the next point?
Making the API open source.
So yeah, making the API open source. What are our thoughts on that?
So I
No.
completely 100% agree with that. I don't know why we're closed source. I don't know why Kyle made it closed source. Like, there's nothing secretive about it.
Is there
Besides
any
our
reason at all
database
for it to be
structure
closed
with... Hang on, what was that?
Is there any reason at all for it to be closed source?
Nope, there's
Then
no
make it open
credentials.
source.
There are no credentials stored in it. Nothing. I mean, it's our database structure, but again, that doesn't matter.
Are we
That's open
sure
source.
there's nothing?
Yeah, there's
No
nothing.
credentials stored.
There's no credentials stored in it whatsoever. Because every time you clone the
OFAC raised 3 good points about why we shouldn't open source the API.
Okay, what were those? 'Cause I didn't see those.
For this, for the meeting, I don't think we should have API open source. I'm quoting from him now. Only us have access to the database, so people cannot use it. It's just not relevant. This could cause security breaches. And the third point was this will make us change a lot of things because the API contains secret keys. Need to change the automatic update and more. And then Noah completely agrees with OFAC.
Okay.
The only point I would add to that is, at least with like all the other stuff we have open source, you have ways to test it. Like if someone wanted to go and really wanted to do to test the like data uploader, for example, and add their stuff to that, I'd have no problem creating a false event for them and giving them a key to the false event. Whereas in order for them to be able to test the API, we have to give them a whole database setup or give them access to ours, which I'm not giving them access to our database.
So are you advocating for opening it or against it, Alex?
I personally would be more against it, but
I
do see some points for having it open. But for the most part, I would say right now, I don't think that's the best idea.
Okay, fine with me. I can agree with OFAC at that point. That that's totally fine with me to keep it closed source. I don't really care because I have to work on it either way. So yeah, it doesn't matter to me. So we can keep it closed for now.
Okay, so then it looks like we're in agreement with that. Yeah, I'm fine with adding you to the repo, Dominic. I'll add you after the meeting. Twitch scoring. Anyone want to talk about? Anyone want to talk about that?
What do you mean Twitch scoring?
Could you explain what it is?
He meant Twitch over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's done. The Twitch overlay is
pretty
done.
much
It just
done.
has to
Yeah, I
be
think I
registered
saw
with
that
Twitch.
Twitch extension, that's what it is.
Yeah. Sorry.
Plugin.
Plugin, whatever you want to call it.
But it
Yeah,
only
pretty much
works
done.
well with events where with TBA, all the on-season events automatically
Yeah.
get pulled into
Yeah.
TBA, so you can't use the TOA software without them also using some sort of data uploading, whether it be some custom
Yeah.
software they wrote or our data sync. So
Yeah.
I still don't think it's been done in the most intuitive way.
so that would be, you can talk to OFAC about that, and eventually we'll be open sourcing that. Right now it's closed source because I don't.
I think
It's
OPEC just wants to get some final touches before they publish the repo. So
That's all.
Fun.
oh wait,
It'll look good. Don't worry. I'm making sure it's not going to look bad. Mainly by telling people it looks bad. I can't code. If you didn't know.
Yeah,
Someone
we
makes fun
know.
of me for this all the time.
Trust me, we know.
I'm telling everyone else.
okay. So then the next one, I'm gonna pretty much combine the two next points together because it's pretty much the same type of thing. But the 2 points are consider fundraising options and discuss end-of-year report options. So as being a 501c3, we're required to do an end-of-year report. However, I wanted to see if we could do that in like a webcast type format or something like that to also try and help raise funds for us while also giving just like an end-of-year presentation and possibly doing something like a raffle or some other thing to try and raise funds for TOA. And one of the reasons why we want to go into raising more funds than that with what we have is with the grant that we got, I know we're going to be a little bit more easily spending money on stuff for the web hosting, and I don't want us to get into a position that all of a sudden our funding source for the grant on Google gets cut, and now we're without any funding for that all of a sudden.
I'm definitely making sure that doesn't happen.
Open a Patreon.
I'm definitely making sure that never happens. I'm mostly been in charge of managing our servers, and the only problem we have right now that was really hard hitting before we got the grant was the SQL server. And so I'm trying to think of other options to do that, whether we end up hosting the SQL server on our VM rather than paying for a Google SQL, which seems to be really expensive and unnecessary almost, but maybe there are benefits. I'm not sure. I haven't done much research, but we really don't need much more. The only more expensive stuff that we can continue adding on right now is getting in Google's CDN, Content Delivery Network, so that instead of having multiple VMs in different locations in the world, we have one VM, and then we're just a version of our site is cached in each of Google's Edge servers or Edge DNS servers or whatnot, so that our site loads faster. Yeah.
So I guess I'll ask Greg, as our sole source of, pretty much sole source of funding outside of the fundraiser we did on GoFundMe, do you have any ideas for public fundraising? I mean, if you'll be willing to talk about this in the public meeting, would you be okay if we approached other companies, other first-rated organizations?
So, so I haven't really, to be resolved too. I mean, I think that fundraising is always an idea. I do think that there is a degree of, there's always a debate about making sure you're raising for what you need and for a rainy day. So I think that before fundraising should happen, there's probably a budget that should happen on what you're actually trying to, rather than just trying to raise tons of money for whatever. In regards to other companies, I think I didn't really sign any exclusive arrangement. I will say there are probably companies that I would rather not share a masthead with than others, but
you're cutting out a lot.
To keep the site alive.
So I can go through with at least the billing that we've had for the past few months with our web hosting, because that's really, the web hosting is probably going to be our biggest point of our budget is going to that. And then really most of the other stuff is just administrative stuff, like our software for doing the 990, and then I think Nathan, the only other thing that I can think of that's being billed annually or monthly would be the Adobe software, unless there's anything else I'm missing.
Yeah, why don't we, Alex, maybe later tonight, you and I can have a phone call and let's write out in Slack or something all of our yearly expenses, our monthly expenses, and then what we have grant-wise, so that we can really, I mean, to Greg's point, break down like where are we getting fund, like what are we spending things on, and then we can take a look at our funding, like what Rev gives us, what we've gotten from your Facebook, what we've gotten from GoFundMe, and kind of figure out what we're doing. But maybe let's do this before we go and order gear, if we're going to use some TOA funds to order things.
Then would tomorrow be better for you? Because I think that'd be better for me.
Yeah, whenever. I'm available always.
Were you talking about ordering gear to sell as a fund? Or were you just talking about
ordering gear for myself, Soren, and developers? I mean, I'm gonna pay for my own gear, mainly because I don't want to take out of the TOA fund. I think Soren said he'll pay for his own gear.
Yep.
I'm not sure about Alex.
I'm gonna pay for my own gear. So
really talk to our developers.
But
I probably can.
But yeah, the other thing too is we need to start looking into like a rainy day fund, like what Greg was saying, with having. I would feel comfortable having at least a year of reserve money in case our grant did go away. So then that way we have a year to raise that, because I know looking in the past, and I didn't even realize that Soren had a completely different billing thing set up. So I haven't been looking at the real numbers for our thing, but at least from what I've seen, it's been about $50 to $75 a month, which double that is what I would have to do under the assumption that Soren was spending about the same, because the money on his credit was pretty much to the same point that we were.
What's just without doing the complete math, a document that shows kind of what the expenses are? What's the order of magnitude of the actual out-of-pocket expenses for server and stuff for TOA?
So I can get into more depth in that. Just give me a second to log in.
The other thing too is that I did a bunch of setup for my FRT team. We got a fast 501c, the fast form one, and there's a nonprofit, an organization that you can get approved through called I can't remember the name, but basically it's like a authorization one. It's TechSoup.
Yeah, that we have that.
Have you guys done TechSoup?
Yeah.
Yep, we're using TechSoup.
Alex,
Okay.
you sound like you're on an airplane right now.
It sounds like I'm on an airplane right now.
No, it sounds like Alex is on an airplane.
Oh, but because the other thing too is that like if hosting or web stuff is the biggest, I mean, those are things that we can targetedly go look for, right? From a donation standpoint. For example, I know that some of the guys at Microsoft who support First, right? Like they donate an right, like all the Azure hosting that goes on for stuff like the FRC Q&A system and stuff, and that's totally separate from the like mainline First donations. Those are like secondary things. I've got a meeting with Amazon AWS, who's actually a big sponsor of First Global, also. So there are opportunities there to say, like, hey, what's the ask? What's the actual like bandwidth time or server time? And we could say like, hey, would you be willing to donate to this because this supports this other thing that you're also supporting? And I'm sure that, Amazon AWS for EDU, which is now donating a lot, would be happy to, might be willing to sponsor and just say, hey, we'll just eat your hosting bill up to, or here's a couple $1,000s of hosting credit for, if it's Microsoft on Azure or it's Amazon, it's on AWS or whatever. Just basically turning hard dollars into soft.
And that's kind of like what we have going on with Google right now is we just applied and got this grant from Google for $1,000 a month. Yeah, $6,000, and it's supposed to last 6 months, but we can reapply that every 6 months to keep going, and we just have to write a grant up basically saying what we're going to use it for and everything.
So are we using Azure to host?
I think a lot of what we're talking about right now, Greg, is the biggest caveat is we have to apply every 6 months. So that's why we kind of want that rainy day fund in case that we don't get that grant. So maybe it does make sense to look into talking to your contacts at Amazon for AWS. I mean, Soren's going to shoot us if we have to switch again.
Well, but, if it's wherever. Google, I mean, there are Google support, right? So like Liz is on the FTC technology team who works for Google Maker Education Outreach Group or whatever. And so it wouldn't be that hard to ping her and be like, hey, out to whoever this server group is that does grants, and can we just get into like a reoccurring thing? I mean, it's there's stuff like the good news about First is that because First is supported by basically every big tech planet, you just have to find the right people to ask, and like server time is like the easiest ask you can probably get for some of these.
So is that something you'd be willing to reach out to her for?
Yeah,
or would you...
I mean, I don't speak the language, right?
Oh.
I don't server time or database hits or queries or whatever it is. Like I'm old guy, So if I have the right language or I understand what the right ask is, yeah, I mean, I can ping people pretty easily for stuff like that. That's easy.
Okay, so Soren, do you want to write up something for Greg to send to her, or?
It doesn't need to be like right now.
Yeah, it can be later, like because we have 6 months.
Yeah.
So you're basically talking about a spend cost $100 a month, right? So that's $6K. Well, does that expire in 6 months or?
Yeah, so the $6,000 will expire on September 6th.
Okay. Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, this was the question. What's the order of magnitude? If you're okay, I'm just saying that, like, going, like, having the conversations, looking for some server farm stuff, server time and SQL time, literally saying, hey, we'd like a $5,000 grant for the right is a pretty easy ask. And if they're willing to give you $6K for 6 months, and you say it would last us 3 years, right? Just don't make us reapply. So.
Yeah. Totally.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, just if you can write up like what be interested in the other expenses reoccurring and what you need to do. Because there's a big difference if we're talking about, like, TOA trying to put $5K in the bank, and that's like the enough reserve fund for time, or if TOA is trying to go raise $50,000 for a big initiative, right? It's a different phase of.
Yeah, you're right. It's much you're just. Am I better, Soren, now?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. All I said is as Greg said, it's easier to get server time or server credit because everyone has that than for someone to write a $5,000 check.
How much do you get from Rev?
Is that figure public, Alex?
So no, it's public. So previously, I used to get $100 a month away. So I gave $1,200 a year ago or 2 years ago, and then when the nonprofit got found that, I gave it $500.
And technically, yes, that will be public at least when the 990 is posted because we have to report it.
Does that sum up the... Sorry, okay, so I just have to say this one last time because I forgot to turn my mic on in the recording. So that's $50 a month for SQL and $50 for the physical VM and $25 for the physical VM and $25 for other random charges like gigahertz hours and RAM hours and gigabyte per month things. I'm just reading off random measurements. So yeah, that's for the recording then. And
then
everything else was recorded. It's just I forgot to turn my mic on.
Yep. And then Alex, for your end of year report, I mean, if you want to do something, you can. We don't have to do one for last year, right? Just for 2019, right? I'm going to assume that we just have to do one for 2019.
Oh, I was under the impression
December.
we had to do one for 2018.
We weren't a nonprofit back then, so we don't have to do one for then.
And so we can. I mean, if you want to do something fun, I can host the TOA on Twitch, but we can. I'm just going to say, I know you want to do Gala something, but don't think
we're not going to do that. Yeah,
it's going to be hard to get everyone in a physical location, especially with the very small.
More of like talking to Greg and talking to maybe a few other people and say, hey, can we get like a few things to possibly do as like giveaways for like a raffle type thing.
Yeah, and I would say, I mean, to answer that for Greg right now, let's figure out what our cost goals are before we just randomly go out and start Facebook fundraisers or asking Greg for Rev Hubs to give out or something, whatever it may be.
Also, be aware that trying to do raffles where you're selling tickets to give a prize out, there are legal implications.
Yes. So the state of Michigan, who I've been working with is giving me all the paperwork that we need to do in order to be able to do that legally for the state. But they make it a lot easier for 501c3s than like a for-profit company.
Right. Okay. But I mean, and then like selling tickets, different set of requirements too.
Yeah. So I know one of the big hurdles, or at least one of the big things, is going to be we aren't legally allowed to sell to anyone under the age of 18. So it would have to be team mentors and stuff that we would target.
Yeah, and I have personal dislikes for raffles that we can discuss. I don't think it's a great way to fundraise.
Okay.
But yeah. Should we move on to committee reports?
Yep.
Anything from the executive committee, Alex?
Nope. Nothing from financial either.
Social media. I mean, we continue to do posts. We continue to do things. It needs to become more consistent to continue to get the TOA name out there. But I'm going to start working with Noah more closely, who joined the social media team last month, on more targeted campaigns to promote the various things we have. I've been kind of doing a bunch of things all at once, so it's been kind of difficult to manage uploading Twitch and social media. Twitch-wise, though, we became a Twitch affiliate on our TOA2 channel. We might be affiliate now in TOA1. I'm not sure. I will check that right now.
We made $2.50 from the one, or from two. I mean,
50 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah, from someone subscribing, I think.
No, from me subscribing.
Or from you subscribing with your Twitch Prime or your your Amazon Prime. Let me see. I don't even know where I would find if we're a partner.
You don't get partnered until you.
Not partner. I mean affiliate. Path to affiliate. We need. Yeah, we don't have enough for affiliate yet. It's fine. I don't really care about that too much. But streaming wise, I mean, Greg, I don't know how much you paid attention to this, but if you're curious at all, we had crazy viewership over the course of this year, which is a really good sign. On our main TOA channel, we had okay, that just did not work. I'm trying to pull this up. Oh, update. There we go. On our main TOA channel, we had just about 14,000 people watching. We had 222,000 minutes watched on that channel through events. And then our second main channel, I think, was just about the same. So it's good. It's nice. It's a good resource that we have. And with FIM now doing league meets next year, Illinois is going to ramp up streaming next year, and in the year after that, I know more regions are going into streaming.
And just something that I'm not on the social media team, but something to comment on the streams is what's blown me away in my last couple of years, because I am one of the main AV people for FIM. The viewership for these live streams, it is insane. Sometimes it's close to the number of people that actually show up to the event or can be watching the live stream simultaneously. It is mind-boggling how many people watch some of these events through streams. So putting on a good stream, and even just sometimes streaming in general, is really key to an event.
How many at a time usually show up?
Yeah. So we have oh God, I do not know what this is. So we have I think it's every stream per hour. I'm not sure. So oh God, Twitch is sometimes horrible with their average unique. So per stream, we had an average unique viewership. No, I just want total unique. I mean, we had 13,000 live views on 12,500 live views on TOA2, 1,400 on TOA1, and based off looking at uniques for individual streams, I'm pretty sure that's about 2,000 or 3,000 unique for each. So we had a lot of returning people. In a view for Twitch is like if I go to TOA1, watch for 20 minutes, check back in an hour later, that's two different views. So it's a lot of people jumping in and out. But we had a lot of viewers, and we have 8 TOA channels, and there was at least 3 streams on every channel, I believe, mainly on 1 and 2.
Are you guys doing any for the stream?
Greg, you just cut out.
I cut out.
I didn't hear. Are we doing any what?
Are you guys parsing any?
I'd like to. I'd like to jump in here that I have software ready to go for that. I just need, as soon as the API endpoint is exposed, I can just toss that necessary code into my existing software, and then we'll be fully ready to go.
Okay, because one of the things I think that you'll see is that yes, tuning into live streams is going to be good, but the post viewership on YouTube is significantly higher, and archiving of actual scores is one thing, but you get into that another thing, and that's where you can really drive some viewership if those videos are, depending on whose channel being uploaded to, being able to search for individual matches or being matches with all pages and actually watch videos right there that are embedded. That's a big deal, because I know that you go try to see an example or watch what's going on, and it's very difficult back a couple years or even this year to find really any great videos of matches that are going on.
Totally. And one of the things that I kind of dropped the ball on, mainly because I didn't realize, is almost none of the streams that we streamed are archived on YouTube, but for almost everything we've done in the month of February, it's archived on YouTube. So one of the things we're going to do next year is ensure that every stream that comes to TOA, at least the entire stream, will end up on the TOA YouTube channel. And then, one thing that I would love to implement, and Soren could probably tell me more about how this works, but I think if it was super easy to add match videos to the website, that would be awesome, because I know I have a million matches from a bunch of Illinois events.
Yep.
And then it would be cool if hey, I found the the Wisconsin State Championship Finals 2. If it took me 2 seconds to add it to the site, that would be nice. And then we could that would just drive further viewership to the site.
The back end is written for that. The front end needs to be added. However, if you have a playlist of videos, you can use that to link it. We have a little in the admin page on the event. You can put in a playlist URL and link matches that way. So if you can find, say, Wisconsin Championship qualifications 2, 4, finals 1, semifinals 2-1, and put those all in a playlist, then you can go to that page and click link, and it will we'll try to find the match that best fits that in that event.
What's the requirement for, I assume it has to be titled something?
There's a very large criteria of titles that work. And if you find a title that doesn't work, send it to me and I'll see if I can get that added, because I wrote that.
So I assume it has to be Q1 or qualification 1.
Yep. So I tried to get that to be a very wide range of things. So there's a lot of criteria that fits. And like I said, if you find something that makes sense, that doesn't get picked up by the algorithm, send it to me and I'll try and get it added.
Perfect. I'll play with that at some point later this month.
Yeah.
And then if we can get the scorekeeping guys to add the API and routes that Travis needs, it would be quite awesome if we can take at least every TOA stream, run it through, clip all the videos, get them uploaded to the TOA YouTube channel, and put on the website, because I know that's mainly what I use TBA for.
To be honest,
videos of matches.
So to be honest, I have talked to them quite a bit about that, and it doesn't sound like it's going to be added until the summer.
Yeah,
So
that's
it may
fine.
be something that's going to be
For next year.
for next season.
For reference,
But I don't think it's going to be something we'll get this season.
the issue for that has been open since the beginning of November, October 31st. So, yeah. And OFAC commented on February 2nd saying, "Can you add it, please?" And no response yet. So,
Okay. So should we move on to project reports, and then we can get to the private meeting because it'd be
I
nice.
have one more. I have one question about the media stuff adding to the website, and that is, will there be an API to suggest match videos that are split by Rematch, which is my splitter system, for example?
yes, we are working on that right now, and we'll be able to
Perfect.
get that data to you soon.
Thank
And
you.
we'll probably be able to give you direct access to access. So,
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Alrighty. So do we have any reports for my TOA?
ooh, so a lot of this doesn't apply to the general public, but we have a lot of so we have a lot of backend upgrades to my TOA that applies to mainly the admins, but we now have a retriever written so that we can get events and update events. There's also Teams retrievers written, but hasn't been added to the front end yet. We have server status that's available in the sidebar, so you can view the uptime of the servers as well as update specific servers. That should only be done by developers, and we will be removing access to other people, or it's locked to admins right now, but we're going to be removing the ability for non-development admins to update servers, but they'll still be able to view generic statistics about the server. So,
I have a question.
Yep.
Are you aware of the FTC Scores pit display feature?
no, I have not.
Go
Did you
on
send
to
a link?
FTC Scores and go on to one of their events that has already happened and go on pit displays.
Okay.
It's basically a scrolling list that live updates, and I've noticed at at tons of FTC events, they'll put these up on projectors and live TVs, and it'll have the live scores going through. And they usually have a QR code that'll go directly to their site. That is a good way to get viewership for your
let's
site.
do that.
Ooh, that is pretty cool.
And it wouldn't be that hard to design.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that's super easy.
I'll make an issue on GitHub and to our list of things to do.
Yeah,
OFAC
OFAC's always looking for cool design things to do like that, so he'll probably jump on that pretty quickly.
I could tell you when OFAC sees that, he'll have it done in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's not gonna take very
Yeah, I've
long.
always thought that would be something. I thought that's a way that you guys could get more people to.
Yeah, and in the future, if you have ideas like that, throw it in a GitHub. 9 times out of 10, OFAC will take it and run with it.
Yeah.
Just like he's done with the Twitch extension. It's almost done because we suggested it and he did it.
Yeah.
Just like it.
It's weird how he functions, but it's awesome too. The ethics he has to work on the Orange Alliance, it's amazing. He's a fun guy to work with too.
And about 90% of new media or streaming related things or stats related things is me just annoying Soren and OFAC saying, "Hey, I'll do that." So and
it's just annoying the crap out of us to get it to do it.
Yep, it's great. It's fun. And actually, one of the things we are adding, is this a my TOA thing?
Probably. I don't know. You have to say it first.
One of the things that we're adding for people listening is we're adding an insights page similar to TBA to every event page.
Yeah.
So here, actually, I'll throw that screenshot, and I assume it's fine if I throw the screenshot, right?
Yeah, it's nothing. It's probably already on the repo.
It's not on the website yet.
On the repo. That's what I mean. It's probably he already committed it, probably.
So we're adding an insights page to every page. This is not necessarily what it's exactly going to look like, and I think there's going to be some more stuff. Da-da.
I'll make the issue for the pit display later.
Yep, there you go. So that's going to be at least a little bit of what the insight is. I also want to add, like, yeah, things like TBA has. So, like, there was 30 samples out of a possible 48, or there was 20 hangs out of a possible 100, whatever that is, just for some cool stats for the nerdy people who love stats.
What about
As well as I think we're
stats?
adding a stats page sometime soon, or at least I keep poking people to do that, and that will have.
Yeah, it's just the difficulty of that because we have to go through the
Yeah.
entire database
Yep, I know.
every single time it's queried, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass. But
Yep. So we're gonna have the top, like, whatever 10, 15, 20 scores, and then just essentially a giant list of OPR. So I don't like copying people that much, but it's essentially going to be what FTC scores is. FTC stats is on our website.
Yeah.
So.
But the benefit of our, I don't want to like put down on the websites, but ours will be updated live. So if, for instance, say such and such had a new 600-point high score, it would get
Yeah.
on our
As
website.
soon as I add it,
Yeah.
it'll be on our website.
Yeah, it'll be on the
I
site.
like that, like 4 trillion OPR the 1 week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an error.
No, that was
Right,
actually
so-
correct.
No.
That was correct. We did the math.
A 4 trillion OPR, you can't have that.
Yeah, you
whatever, a 4 whatever. Okay, whatever. Any reports from for TOA API? I know you
Yes.
just-
So that insights, all they
today.
okay. So as with everything, anything you see on the website is available in the API. So this screenshot that was sent out, that will be in the API. That route will be in the API. There's some new stuff coming out. I just posted something in the changelog today. Oh, OPR is now available from the teams or slash from. Hang on, I have to check that. I just put it. If I change it.
Anytime you get the ranking, you
Yeah.
can get the API.
Yeah, so where it doesn't matter where you request the ranking from, it will be, the OPR will also be there because previously if you got it from the teams, the OPR was set to 0. So now, because it's not set to 0, it's now also on the web page. So I will post that screenshot that I just took in a second here. So yeah, okay, so I'll get that in a second. So yeah, there have been multiple API upgrades, and yeah, I think OPR was added after the last meeting happened. So that's pretty cool.
Okay, so then the next thing is going to be TOA data.
Wait 1 second.
Yep.
For the API, do you guys ever plan to add a match list endpoint?
What do you mean?
An endpoint to get all matches.
Yeah, that already exists. Check the API.
You sure? Last I checked, it wasn't there.
Yeah,
He means all matches, correct?
yeah, I think that exists. I'm almost positive that exists. Hang on, I gotta get the screenshot of the OPR.
Or if
And-
it's not in the docs, I'm gonna test it right now to know if it exists or not.
So
Yeah,
here's
I
that
only see a
screenshot.
way to get all matches from an event, not all total matches.
Okay, so we have the matches slash size, so you can get all the matches that exist in our database. Match
But that's just the amount of matches.
get size, match key. Okay, so yeah, it doesn't look like there's a way to get all matches. So I will, if you open an issue on that, I will put in a route for that. I just have to make a way so you can iterate through it, because I'm not going to return to you all 12,000 matches in our database in one query, because that will probably crash something.
Oh, yeah. I'm making an issue for that too.
What?
Okay. So then the TOA data, the only thing that I have to add to that is going to be, so one of the issues that we've been seeing coming across with was keys for the like event keys. So
this is
like
brutal.
some event keys will be normal, some will be just a general like Q1, Q2, Q3. The other half of normal is like an abbreviation of the region or something like that, like what FRC does. And then you'll have the weird cluster, which is just a random string of numbers.
That is not the case anymore, and it will not be ever be the case ever again.
This is a first issue, not a.
Yes, but that will not ever be the case again on the Orange Alliance.
Okay.
So
'Cause I was
with the new
gonna talk with-
with the retriever, with the new retriever that's been written, if the event key is longer than 5 characters, it will take the first 4 characters, or it'll take the first letter of the event name. So if the event name is, let me find something on the events page. If the event name is, oh god, it crashed. I'm running a development build, so give me a second. If the event name is First Stick Challenge New York Championship, New York City Championship, the event ID would be FTC NYC.
Okay.
So instead of it being
Then
something 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 or 1819-NY-153,
but how do you compare that against?
Already existing.
so that's also a check. So in the API now has a feature, so if you try to create an event and the event key is conflicting, it will automatically generate a new API key, or it'll automatically generate a new event key for you by adding either a 1, 2, or 3 or something after a number after it. So if FTC NYC already exists, it'll say FTC NYC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so
All right,
forth.
sounds good.
So there will
But yeah,
never
I've
ever
never
be a
heard of it.
conflicting event ID or some gibberish ever again.
I've noticed that with the SBPLI, whatever those events are in New York.
Yeah, and the Oregon ones are going to be the same way because that was one of the main reasons why I had to add that. It's because of that.
Perfect. All right. What about the data sync? I think that's now worked, right?
Yeah, I mean, it has worked. You just have to do it right. So
I mean,
for dual division events, you have to import all 3 divisions,
Yeah.
so the _0, the _1, and the _2 in order for the data sync to work. Because how the data sync works is it looks for if it sees _0, _1, or _2, it looks for the _0 and it looks for the _2 and it looks for the other divisions. And if it doesn't see those, it won't register as a dual division event. So when it comes to the finals, it won't look for the proper match key. So you just have to do it right and it works. Because first doesn't have a variable that's set that defines a dual division event. You just have to look for the event keys, which I find dumb, but I've put in a request for that and they haven't done anything yet, so.
Nathan, he's calling you useless and dumb. And saying you didn't do it.
Dom, you're really muffled and quiet. It's hard to hear you.
Okay, TOA Flutter app.
What
That
the
is
heck is
out.
that?
It's been pushed to production. It's now on iOS and Android, and there have been a few updates for minor bugs.
what do
TOA
you mean
text?
Flutter? What do you mean Flutter?
So Flutter is just the.
Flutter is an I want to say this because I helped develop it. So Flutter is basically allows you to write an Android and iOS app at the same time using one code base. So anything we change, basically the iOS app and the Android app will be identical, and the code base is the same code. So you just compile it for 2 different places.
Awesome.
Okay.
I have a lot of changes I would love made to the app,
Hey,
but
it's
I
open
do not
source.
think
Create
I do not
create an
think-
issue.
You can make as many
Um,
changes as you want, Nathan.
I just do not think it's something we need to it's our time. And I don't know if Greg agrees with me there or any other people in the chat. People
But yeah,
listening agree
if
with
you
me.
see a problem, open an issue. When somebody finds time, they'll fix it. Or if you want something improved, OFEC is pretty good at prioritizing things. So
Yep. What's the last thing? TOA
TOA
text.
text.
Got
is-
anything for us, Tom?
we can't hear you.
See, trying to talk.
Okay. All right. I think TOA
Okay.
text is doing great.
So one
Um,
thing that I want to add in the future is a webhook. So right now, TOA text is constantly pinging the database looking for updates to updates in an event. So and a nice improvement for that, instead of having limited like 3 events being live at the same time, if there's a webhook, then every time a new match is uploaded, TOA text is sent a ping, so TOA text can say, oh, is anybody subscribed to this event? Okay, well, since somebody subscribed to this event, I need to send them a text message that says, hey, there's a new match. So in theory, that it would be faster for somebody to receive a text once the match is posted, and he wouldn't have basically you could have unlimited quote unquote live events running at one time. So that's something that I want to improve in the future, and it's quite simple to do. It's probably something we can start working on pretty soon here. So yeah. Since
The last part is going to be the, unless someone else has something to add for that.
No, that would be much easier.
Yeah, you're still quiet, Dom, but yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I just thought about that a week ago, so I was like, yeah, we should probably do that soon.
If you want to do that, that would be much easier now that the phone numbers are stored in a database.
Yeah, I saw the phone numbers today. I was like, wow, that's a lot of people who text. So that's an update for TOA text. So currently in the past, the texting help, which is what you would think is the most basic help command, was currently managed and handled by the Twilio. So we were able to commandeer that, so that help was not managed by Twilio. And in order to agree with their terms of service, we have to provide a way to unsubscribe. So instead of keeping track of all those phone numbers that have somehow unsubscribed or some reason unsubscribed from the service, every phone number is stored in the database, and that also means that we can do stuff with the phone numbers in the web app, such as having people subscribe to live events. So if they want to get text messages about an event, they can receive updates that way.
Yep, that sounds really awesome. I love TOA text. Didn't really work for my state tournament, but I think that was a issue that Don has now solved.
It's an issue that I have solved, and that was such a crazy day because live scoring at our state tournament just wasn't working. We were back up doing everything on paper at state.
Wow, that sucks.
So, I had bigger things to do that day, Nathan.
Yes, you definitely did.
And it was probably, most likely it was because somebody reset the wrong process on the server, which reset TOA text.
I believe that was you.
I don't think it was me.
Oh, that also happened at one point.
And I just gave up on it after a while because I was making sure that dual division stuff was working at our tournament. So, public comment. Anyone have anything to say?
Wait, before we go that, I just wanted to add TOA event management system. So I don't know if Greg wants to talk anything about this, but I was talking to Kyle yesterday at our event. He was saying that he was working with some people at Rev to get this adopted for the next season. I don't know if you have anything more to add to that, Greg.
I don't.
Okay.
If I may ask Greg, and if you want to talk about this in our closed session soon, we can. Would you like TOA to develop a site, First Global?
Sure.
To host all the scores and do live uploading stuff?
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Yay.
Awesome.
Okay.
So let's get on that. I think we already own global domain names, right?
No, I was waiting to get the official word from Greg before I bought any, but
So
I might buy them, but
Okay.
I will point them wherever you tell me to point.
okay, that works.
There's some side global stuff that we can talk about. But yeah, I mean, we would love to figure out how to do more than and there's some complicated things going on because of media and how they do it, but I basically the folks that what I would like to do is do individual and they can still grab them and pull and do like this. From global, it's like a very, very scripted. But for like parents from the team from Algeria to tune in and watch just their thing when you're only streaming a quarter of the matches. So, yes, I'd love to have a conversation. First Global. We got there, Kyle came down and worked, mainly doing stuff. If anybody else is interested in some sort of hanging out, working on CFA stuff, just ping me, because we're starting to hire co-ops. And
Okay, so yeah, that's definitely something we want to start on in the future, is working with First Global. So OFEC definitely has been spoken about before. The dev chat is adding subdomains, and it's Kyle at least has said, although he isn't very much involved in the API or web app side of things much as at the moment, but he said that switching or modifying our current systems to work with First Global would not be very complicated. It's basically just like implementing another season.
Yeah, basically it's just like implementing another season and figuring out where we get the team list from.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of adding a few more tables into our database and adding a subdomain or getting another server using Firebase hosting, which I would prefer to host.
The challenge with global is the question of year to year. You know, a team, like, for example, Team USA is not the same team or any country. There are teams that are consecutive every year, but not guaranteed. So you almost you do something where you say, like, USA 2019, USA 2018, where there's some year link to the country as a thing. The other sidebar there is, I think that some of this other stuff might work. There are First Global tournaments now that are happening. Not many people know that, but like there are countries like Argentina that's going to hold a national tournament to pick their winner, who's going to represent them, and they're not the only one. If any of this stuff was scalable,
so I think one thing
there would be people that would be interested.
Yeah, and
So I think one
Mexico
thing
does
that
that as well.
I think one thing that we should look at is just look at how, because this is based off the Olympics, so why not look at how the Olympics does their scoring and stuff for keeping track of medals won per country and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the challenge is that with the Olympics, there's so many different sub-activities.
Yeah, because like the U.S. has a ton of stuff to be able to qualify whoever for each of the different sports.
So I'll just jump in and say, especially I've been trying to get us more focused lately. Let's tackle one thing at a time, and then let's see if we can do all the extras.
For sure.
So
Definitely
it
not
should be pretty,
at the moment.
It should be pretty simple based off what we have currently to essentially create a site with 2 events. If we can get the data for 2018 or 2017 as well, that'd be awesome. If not, that it is what it is.
I mean, I have all the data. I have all of the 18 data literally on the laptop I'm talking on.
So if we create an event with, or a separate site with 3 events on it, I think it might be cool if we connected all of the team pages. But then for each season, if we could make them editable, so if we wanted to put like everyone's name or picture, I know First Global has a site, has a page for every single team.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool if we can connect them, but also leave things to be almost editable. So like if 2019 wants to do something, 2018 wants to add something to the Orange Alliance, or the Orange Alliance First Global page, whatever we're going to call it, that'd be nice to do. But
yeah,
tackle the big picture first, and then if we want to support championships and everything else, let's jump on that.
Yeah, and you guys know that it's later this.
Yeah, didn't I see it was like November or something? Or what?
It's October.
Okay.
Why?
Because no one wants to go to Dubai in the middle of summer.
Oh, I didn't realize it was in Dubai.
Yeah, Dubai. So if you guys work on.
What was that? You broke up.
I said, last year Kyle had fun in Mexico. So get the key devs to go to Dubai.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
I'm going to party.
I'm not a dev, but I'll come.
But yeah, that sounds like a fun project to work on as with some of our summer projects, because we're coming to a pretty. I mean, yes, we need stats on the FTC Orange Alliance, but once we get the stats, besides minor updates, TOA is going to be pretty self-sufficient, I believe.
Yeah, I think after this season, we're really getting to that point where I think we have the site essentially. I mean, the site's never done, but
Yep.
the core function is done. It really, I think stats and league meets are the two things we're now missing.
Yep.
And then a lot of it is just me pushing to do a lot more of what FRC does in terms of streaming and in terms of videos.
Yeah.
And,
And a lot of that's happening as well because people are like, wow, FTC really is a thing. FRC, it's not just FRC. FTC is actually important too, so we need to start treating it more seriously. Like, this data thing is one thing, but getting more involvement is key as well. And
So, are we going to move to public comment?
One more
I
thing,
feel
I
like
just want to say, Nathan Soren, we need to figure out how much tickets are to Dubai, whoever wants to go with us, and then put that in our budget.
I do not think I'm going to Dubai.
no, me neither.
I mean, I was saying that like if. Okay.
We'll talk that talk when we get there, if it even
Yeah.
happens. So
I don't think I can justify to my parents taking a week off of college to go to Dubai.
yeah.
I mean, I
So-
talked to my department to go be the head referee of Israel region back when it started, so never know.
So, okay, public comment. Anyone have any public comments?
I do.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, remember talking a while back? Am I at all audible, or is that just my end?
You're quiet. We can hear you though.
And you can, for everyone who thinks he's too quiet, you can manually turn him up by right-clicking on his username.
Introducing the
So,
official game of the
I
2018
think it was
First
the
Global
last meeting I
Challenge.
talked about
Energy
getting
Impact.
continuous integration set up for our data sync and such. Where are we on getting jars built with build systems?
I was talking to somebody about that. Let me see if I can find their messages. I talked to somebody because I haven't had time recently with the FRC season starting to work on that. I'll have time with the next couple of weeks because my team doesn't have to compete again until week 6 of FRC. But I know I was talking to somebody. I think Tux was the guy with the penguin. He said I mentioned to him that he mentioned to me that he wanted to help with development. I said, well, we are looking to set up Gradle or Maven for our data sync, and he said, should I help through a PR for that? And I said yes. So I have been talking to somebody about that. But
okay, because as soon as we have Gradle or Maven or AMP or whatever build system, I can get continuous integration going.
Yep.
Have to be the continuous integration.
Yep, I completely agree with you.
And then I just thought of this, but of course, as soon as I say I just thought of this, I forgot, so never mind.
There's going to be a little bit in the recording where you hear something about First Global because I started watching the First Global thing from last year and I forgot to mute it.
So, any other public comments? Okay, hearing none, I think we're done with the meeting, and then meeting the admin chat.
All right.
Yep.
Recording stopping and any last words?
Oh no! Wait! Sorry, I forgot. We have to have our approval. So, motion to approve the ending of the public meeting.
Approved.
Second.
Second.
Aye.
Approved.
So we're done.
All right.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Stopping recording.